Home is where life begins. Home is always our ultimate destination. Food brings family members together as they work in the kitchen. It is a source of comfort and encouragement. Seemingly ordinary kitchenware, used day in, day out, reflects the Chinese ethos and Chinese ethics. People grow, love, part, and reunite. The tastes of home cooking have all the flavors of life itself. The Taihang Mountains in eastern China. Their deep valleys have walls of quartzite from upheavals 1 billion years ago. In the valleys, arable land is scarce. Zhao Xiaoyou and his youngest son must finish the harvest by dawn. Corn is the only crop grown here. The summer heat has ripened it early. Zhao's field, on the edge of a cliff, covers 1,000 square meters. Its corn brings in 2,000 yuan a year. In the family home 5 kilometers down the road, Zhao's wife, Chang Ronghua, is also working hard. Corn, originally from South America, has been grown in China for 400 years. This millstone, weighing 300 kilos, grinds corn into flour. Zhao's second daughter-in-law. His elder daughter-in-law is on her way home too. With Chang, they'll prepare the family meal. To make the dough sticky, plain flour is added to the corn flour. In the days when plain flour was a luxury, people would use tree bark instead. It was resourcefulness like this that enabled Chang and Zhao to raise their family. The autumn harvest requires an all-out effort. The road to the outside world has many tunnels and wraps around the cliff. It took the villagers 30 years to build the road by hand. Pancakes of chives in cornflour batter are a family favorite. A noodle press forms dough into he-le noodles, as the northern Chinese call them. The press is directly above the stove, so that the freshly made noodles fall straight into the wok. With home-ground flour, everyone in Shanxi can be a master pastry chef. But the people of Huazhou in central Shanxi are pastry artists. Remarkable handiwork enlivens an otherwise ordinary day and injects excitement into the simple food. A newlywed daughter has returned home. She's welcomed with handmade pastry carvings. The patterns and quantity of the pastry reflect the mother's love for her daughter. Steaming is a classic form of cooking. In Tianmen City in Hubei province, the women control the heat just so to synchronize the cooking time for the dishes and the rice. The food looks good and tastes good. Plain noodles are livened up with substantial toppings of soup. This afternoon, the men have a lot of work in front of them. Before the invention of tables and chairs, the Chinese used to eat on their own. It took some 1400 years for people to begin dining together around a table. Here, 4 generations get together for the harvest. The homemade dishes are simple enough, but the seating arrangements are ordered and formal. Great-grandfather, a lifelong farmer, is 90 years old. The seat facing the entrance is reserved for him. All the seating is arranged according to the family hierarchy. The whole family celebrates by enjoying the fruits of their labor. However far apart they are, at important family moments, the Chinese come together around the dining table to enjoy each other's company and to boost family cohesion. That is the secret to the family's survival in this harsh environment. A 1,000 kilometers to the southeast is China's most prosperous city, Shanghai. Shun Tseyu is 16 years old.
Strong, yes, very strong. And what else?
It's very different from others.
5 years ago, she moved from Henan province to go to school in Shanghai. Her mother is making dinner. They live in a tiny rented flat, 15 meters square, not far from the school. Both the kitchen and the bathroom are shared with other tenants. It's their home in Shanghai. Tseyu's classmates come from all over China. Each of them has played an instrument for over 10 years and has passed a rigorous selection to make it into the Shanghai Conservatory of Music. Tseyu began playing the viola at the age of 4. She studied in Wuhan and Beijing. After she was accepted into the conservatory, her mother gave up her job to be with her. They rely on her father to provide for them. Chinese families regularly send their children far from home to pursue educational opportunities. Viola practice takes up most of Tseyu's time. Tseyu's mother travels to a large market to buy fresh food. Although frugal to herself, she makes sure that Tseyu eats healthy, fresh food. Tseyu is going through a growth spurt, and she spends 8 hours a day on her feet practicing. Her mother makes sure she eats well and gets the energy she needs. Meat has a high fat content that produces twice the energy of an equal amount of other sources of protein and carbohydrates. High-quality pork belly has the right amount of fat and lean meat. Tseyu and her mother learned of this dish from their neighbor. Braised pork belly is not a traditional dish, but it has become very popular. Its main ingredients are pork and soy sauce, which are easy to come by. And it requires no sophisticated cooking techniques, only patience. The best way to make it is first to scorch the skin with a blowtorch. This shrinks the skin, allowing the meat to remain firm even after hours of braising. The hallmark of braised pork belly is its reddish look, which comes from the soy sauce and added sugar. The cook may also add other ingredients, such as red yeast rice or fermented tofu. The marinade can be reused in other dishes. Whatever else is cooked with the marinade will go nicely with the pork. Every housewife has her own favourite way of cooking braised pork belly. But far more important than her technique is the love she brings to her task.
Please set the table.
Okay.
Can you put some music on?
Is it ready yet?
It's coming up. It's ready. Here, try this pork.
Braised pork belly, noodles, and berlioz. It's Mum's special combo.
The atmosphere is terrific.
Have some more.
Okay.
Yu is having her weekly intensive tutorial. Today's class is longer than usual.
It's your turn.
Welcome.
It's the eve of the August full moon, a time for family reunions. Since Yu and her mother won't be travelling home, her tutor has invited them to his place.
Dumplings are the best way to treat guests and celebrate the Chinese New Year.
Mr. Shenglia is also from the north, and like Yu, he left home at an early age to pursue his studies. Eventually, he settled in Shanghai. Dumplings and pork belly are a must when having guests. A mother instinctively implants flavours in her child's memory. For the child, the flavours become a kind of mother tongue. The memory of the familiar flavours becomes a compass, forever pointing to home. Wu Tong works as a hiking guide, a new and unusual job in China. He speaks frankly about his upbringing. His parents divorced when he was 10. Since then, his second mother has been his aunt, the auntie with the pickle jars. Wu Tong's aunt lives on Mount Ermei. Today, she's welcoming her nephew home. Pickles. Crunchy, sour and pungent. There's a jar of pickles in every Sichuan home. Sichuan cuisine is a kaleidoscope of flavors, but its key taste comes from pickled vegetables. Pickled ginger and pickled chilies are essential ingredients in this fish dish. The hot oil releases the chili's aroma and acidic elements, taking away the fishy smell and making the fish tender. Mint leaves give the spicy sauce a subtle and delicious aroma.
Sister Auntie, I'm home.
You're back. Wu Tong's home.
Where did you go?
Kangding.
Kangding? What's with your hair?
Coming through, the fish is served.
It's beautiful. Great.
Cheers.
My auntie brought me up. She's a softie. My parents entrusted me to her, and she looked after me well. I'd always say to her, I eat whatever you make. If it's home cooking, it's delicious.
Have some more. Sichuan is the home of pickles. Every family makes pickles, and they all taste amazing in their own way.
Auntie pickles only the freshest seasonal vegetables. First, she washes them and hangs them out to dry. She mixes salt in water at a ratio of 1:50. Adds radishes, ginger, cowpeas, and some chilies, garlic cloves, and aromatic Sichuan pepper. Once everything is set, it's time to add some aged brine. The brine works like yeast in dough. It suppresses many bacteria to create a favorable environment for lactobacilli. Lactobacilli convert sugar in vegetables into lactic acid. This is what gives pickles their tang. Water is added around the mouth of the jar to seal it against air and bacteria. Two weeks of action from the microbes give the vegetables a new vitality. The bright colors fade, but the taste becomes tangy and the texture crunchy. There's another pickled food that is Wu Tong's favorite. His aunt learned it from her mother. Fresh vegetables and cooked chicken feet are soaked in pickling brine. It makes a delicious side dish after a single day.
Here, try this one.
It's the perfect snack for an outdoor picnic.
The three of us, we haven't got anything yet.
Who hasn't?
Me.
Travel safely and take care of yourself.
I will.
Just be careful. Take care. I'll cook some more when you come back.
I don't talk much at home. When I'm with friends, though, I'm a different man. If my parents hadn't divorced and I'd been living at home, my personality might have been different.
Wu Tong has decided to make a quick detour to Leshan to see his father. Wu Tong can only stay for an hour, so this meal is nothing elaborate. It's been 6 months since he saw his father. Neither father nor son says much, but their hearts are full. The warm, humid climate of central Sichuan suits another sort of cured vegetable: salted greens made from tough, sun-dried mustard leaves. Done. The best salted mustard greens have been cured for over a year. Their fragrance goes well with the taste and texture of oil noodles. Some dishes serve as both main meals and side dishes. They go well with any staple food. They are known as rice companions.
Catch.
It's July. In the sandy fields of the Yellow River's alluvial plain, the watermelons have ripened. The refreshing taste of watermelon can be enjoyed all year round with watermelon paste, a homemade dish that preserves the magic of summer. Watermelon paste is made in midsummer. Step 1. Bean paste. Grandma carefully boils selected soybeans until they turn soft.
It's cooked.
The beans are spread out to cool. Having raised her own children, Grandma is now raising the next generation. It's a family of 10. Summer is a busy time, but Grandma knows the importance of patience in making bean paste. The beans are half dried before preheated flour is added. The protein and starch in the flour fuel the fermentation process. Next, the beans are spread out on a hotbed lined with straw. A quilt keeps them warm while also providing a shield against bacteria. But Grandma knows from 40 years' experience that the beans will go moldy. This determines the flavor of the paste.
I'm 70. I have 2 sons, 2 daughters, 3 grandkids. My children work and their kids go to school, but they always come home for the new year.
The Spring Festival has just passed. A new year begins. Grandma seldom rings her children. She always tells them not to worry about her. Step 2, cutting the watermelons. The children love this part. The grandchildren get the sweetest part of the melon. The flesh close to the rind contains less sugar and is best for making watermelon paste. Mold thrives during the 10 hottest days of the year. The beans turn yellowish green. Step 3. Adding salt, ginger, Sichuan pepper, herbs and other condiments. The watermelon is bursting with juice. Stirring the mix continuously allows all the ingredients to soak the juice up.
I love Chinese opera. My grandson bought me a tape of it. He comes home once a year during the study break.
In the pot, Grandma seals not only gourmet flavours, but also anticipation. "40 days later, the watermelon paste is ready. Aromatic and slightly sweet, it's an excellent appetizer. But for Grandma, the best thing about the paste is enjoying it with her grandchildren. This is the happiest time of the year." In fertile areas, it's easy for housewives to cook fine meals for their families. But Mother Nature also provides where it's not so fertile. Chinese housewives are excellent improvisers. Wu Yechun is searching for a water bamboo called kambangi.
Growing up by the Liao River, I started picking kambangi as a kid. There's an endless supply. They grow in the wild by themselves. They don't need looking after at all. They are edible right after picking.
It's the end of the kambangi season. Yechun has something in mind. The tender stem of kambangi is edible. With its spindle-shaped stem, it is commonly known as water bamboo. China and Vietnam are the only countries where this plant is grown for food. A dash of soy sauce is added to the wok to make simmered prawn with water bamboo. Cooked over a low heat, it's a popular family dish in summertime. Another fine dish is pork, braised with freshly picked water bamboo. A wise housewife will dry the leftover water bamboo and preserve it for a rainy day. In the marshes around Yangzhou, people are keen to collect a hardy wild plant similar to kambangi. Reed mace. Reed mace is important in several cuisines in China. Chopped reed mace and beaten eggs make a distinctive Yangzhou pancake. The crunchiness of the reed mace complements the silky texture of the eggs. Reed mace is also used as a filling in the famous Hawaiian dumplings. The taste and smell of reed mace fill the mouth and nose to create a multi-sensory experience. Reed mace in milky soup is made with the tenderest part of the stem. The reed mace broth may not be so easy to come by, but it's easy to make a milky sauce with flour. Ham, mushrooms and bamboo shoots are added. In autumn, the Jianpeng reeds turn Liaodong Bay into a Red Sea. Ye Chun has kept her water bamboo on her windowsill to dry it out. As she adds hot water, it expands again. Braised pork with water bamboo. The full flavour of the water bamboo is released when it's mixed into a rich soup. Stoke the fire and let the soup simmer for another hour. As the rice grains yellow and ripen, the reed mace harvest comes to an end. But Ye Chun still has many household uses for dried reed mace. When her husband had a near-fatal heart attack 8 years ago, Ye Chun took over the farm work and cared for him for 5 years. Resilient as reed mace, she held the family together. Liao River carp with northeast sauce. The chopped reed roots are from local streams. Ye Chun can turn the most ordinary food into a gourmet dish. All the family are home today. This is when Ye Chun is happiest.
For us, the good life is to stay healthy and live happily. It isn't perfect, but it's good. Our family of 5 lives happily and peacefully. As long as we have one another, money isn't important. My greatest wish is for my family to be always happy.
Hard work and thrift are age-old virtues for Chinese women. But there's a time in life when they can be put to one side. Germang Lu, 29, is 7 months pregnant. She is preparing to welcome the new member of her family.
My first reaction was, that's too incredible. When I first felt it in my tummy, it was like it had already joined us.
Zhuhai is in a booming new economic zone. 90% of the population come from other parts of China. Meng Lu is from Sichuan. Her husband, Chun Hangsheng, is a local. Pregnancy is a special time in life. Expectant mothers are surely entitled to a bit of pampering. The port of Gongbei links Zhuhai and Macau. The flow of humanity between the two cities reaches a peak around 9 p.m. Mr. Pan lives in Macau. Like many of its residents, he crosses the border every couple of days to shop for groceries in Zhuhai. His daughter, Pei Chi, is 20. She lives on her own, but for her dad, she's still a little girl.
Daddy, are you about to start cooking?
Yes.
Orange-flavoured red bean dessert is a dish from Mr. Pan's hometown of Zhongshan. He and Pei Chi both love it.
Delicious.
Tang Shui, a warm, sweet soup, is a special kind of Chinese dessert. It may be a soup, a broth, or congee. It is enjoyed for 2 main reasons: its sweetness and its mouthfeel, or smoothness. Every sweet moment in life is worth cherishing. The Taipa Houses Museum is a popular spot for wedding photos. Pei Chi met her fiancé there 3 years ago. It was love at first sight.
Daddy, how long should the tofu sheets be in the water?
A bit longer.
Pei Chi's fiancé is coming over tonight. With her father's help, she is cooking dinner.
What time will he be here?
Soon. He's just finished work.
I hope it's soon.
Let's eat.
Her father's reserve melts away over the bowl of soup. But every father has mixed emotions when first meeting a future son-in-law. More than a dessert can resolve, however delicious it may be. Meanwhile, on the other side of Zhuhai, things are getting tense for Meng Lu. She's having her first contractions.
You're sweating.
Baby, I'm not scared. I know you're not scared either.
The contractions may last for several hours. Meng Lu is already tired, but she needs to be strong for her baby. Hang Shun and Meng Lu's baby will belong to China's second generation of only children. 4 grandparents, 2 parents, only 1 child. This 4-2-1 family structure dominates China's cities. The one child links 3 families.
Congratulations, this is your baby. It's a baby girl. He's 50 centimeters long and weighs 3 kilos.
Han Sheng and Meng Lu will give their daughter the nickname Fuxin, which means lucky star. The baby's first feed doesn't go so well. Mother and child still need practice. For Meng Lu, giving birth is just the beginning. How to become a good mother is an even greater challenge.
Hello, baby. I'm Mummy. She's hungry.
At home, the kitchen is like an athletics event, with the 4 grandparents as the competitors. They take turns at turning out classic Sichuan and Guangdong meals. But what counts is not so much the grandparents' culinary skills as the joy of welcoming a new life into the family.
She's here. The baby is here.
Thank you.
Grow up safely.
Here you are.
Are you getting some water?
The Guangdong grandparents are proud of their secret soup recipe for nursing mothers. They believe the soup should be made with spring water. The Sichuan grandparents make chicken soup with dried fishwort. Fishwort is believed to help heal wounds and speed recovery. Carp is cooked with a sweet, juicy pawpaw. It's a Guangdong recipe. According to Chinese traditional medicine, carp and pawpaw both facilitate lactation. In Guangdong, people are particularly fond of clay pot soups. They seem undeterred by scientific evidence that processing food diminishes its nutritional value. Soups are the pride of Guangdong. All sorts of healthy ingredients are added to the clay pot and simmered for hours. Full-bodied in taste and intense in aroma, the soups are said to have health-promoting properties. South China has a strong soup culture. In Jiangxi, soups are made by placing a small pot into a large pot over a charcoal fire. There's another Guangdong-style soup that's also made slowly, but by steaming. The well-sealed pot locks in moisture. It takes even longer to cook since the soup is never brought to the boil. This allows the aroma and flavors to intensify. The ideal color for a simmered soup is like green tea.
Is the soup ready?
Yes.
This is fish soup with red dates and papaya.
Meng Lu has a lot of soup every day. The diet is intended to help her recover as well as keeping the baby well nourished.
Mummy is eating. It will be baby's turn for a feed next.
Guangdong and Sichuan are over 1,000 kilometers apart and are very different in terms of their dialects and cuisine. Yet the people of both regions feel that their own cooking holds the secret to longevity. Meng Lu is a bit overwhelmed by this double dose of attention.
It's enough.
Really? Are you sure? I'll finish it for you. Just don't tell Mum and Dad. Bottoms up. That was nice.
Meng Lu and her husband are well educated. They and their generation have their own ideas about how to raise a child. 2 months later, this happy story has an unexpected outcome. Han Sheng is overweight. In spring, Ye Chun sows the soil with new seeds. Sir Yu has won an international competition, opening a new world to her. Chang and Zhao are hoping for plenty of rain next year and then a good harvest. A principal reason for people to form families is to produce and distribute food equitably. The kitchen and the hearth help bring families even closer. As they say, home cooking is vast in its variety, but has one common ingredient: a happy family. Most cuisines come into being through a series of remarkable fusions of ingredients. How do ingredients and people come together? What challenges do they have to overcome? What surprises do they bring? From east to west, from the north to south of the Yangtze River, the next episode tells the story of the shared journey of food and people.